Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, and it is going to be hot here today. I guess we're supposed to get up to 92. So anything I'm intending to do, I will do early because 92 is not my gig. I know there's people who just revel in it. My sister used to live in Houston, and she would come out from work for the air conditioning, get into her car, and sit there with the doors closed in Houston in the summer. Just, as she called it, reveling in the heat. Yeah, no, not so much. Good morning, good morning. A couple of you rolled past very quickly. I can see Cindy. Glad you're here. Welcome. So, our card deck today, we haven't had this one in a little bit. Soul Coaching by Denise Lynn, What Your Soul Wants You to Know. And I've got a little extra I'm going to throw in for today because I opened to a particular page in the book and there was more information. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be not too pretty. And it's only going to last a day, and then we're going to have, theoretically, several days in the 70s, which will be lovely. But today's going to be kind of toasty. Yes. So what I want to do is show you the card, read the card, give whatever spirit downloads me to say about that, and then there's some questions in the front of the book with a one-card spread. Thank you for the reminder. That will help deepen the experience of this particular card. How was my day yesterday? It went very well. And good morning, Carolyn. Thank you for asking, Cindy. The reason it went very well is my mindset. I looked at the day and went, holy buckets, that's a lot of stuff. And one thing that my own coaching call with my coach that somehow I missed, it was yesterday and hadn't prepared for. Usually I fill out a form ahead of time, send it in, blah, blah, blah. Well, I did that quickly, but I even told her, yeah, I kind of lost track here. And she said, no, it wasn't you. We just switched scheduling systems, so the new system wasn't sending out the couple of day ahead reminder or the day of reminder, so I wasn't getting my usual cues. Hey, it's time, check in. So that went very well. I have my own homework to do as always, which I like us having homework because it keeps us doing something beyond what we talk about right here. It's okay, how am I going to apply this today? Good morning, Abigail. Thank you for the sunrise and the heart. Love it, love it. How are we going to apply this to our day? One of the cool things about doing this every day in and day out, is we can do a little bit each day and make some significant headway in a year. Think about that. That's 365 opportunities that we all take to tweak a little something, right? On the other hand, with a coaching call, if I do my coaching calls like every 2 or 3 weeks, I need stuff in between to be doing because that won't effect enough change unless I'm doing something in between. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome. So thus my penchant for action steps, homework, etc. What are we going to do with this stuff? All right? And especially today's, I think this is going to be a good question to ask ourselves. What am I going to do with this one today? And again, I will, after we talk about the card itself, good morning, Jobel, glad you are here. I will read 3 questions that Denise Lynn poses at the beginning of the book, referencing a one-card spread, which is what we're doing. We're pulling one card for the day. Our card, right near the front of the deck, adventure. As my son would say when he was little, adventure. Mom, let's go on an adventure. And we'd grab a little sand pail and away we'd go and collect bugs and rocks and sticks and whatever else met his fancy. So, adventure. And look at that road leading off into the sunset. Wonder where it goes, right? It says on the bottom of the card, wonderful new experiences fill my life. Wonderful new experiences fill my life. So some nice deep belly breaths just on that idea. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Wonderful new experiences fill my life. Even coming from that perspective, doesn't that have an influence on how you feel about change? Wonderful new experiences fill my life. Yes, thank you, Cindy, for posting it. Thank you, thank you. So, we'll start with that. We'll start with just that thought, all right? Now let's see what the card tells us. Adventure. Card meaning, take risks. You're entering new frontiers and a period of expansions. Have we not heard this over and over and over again? And you might say, well, it's just all the cards say the same thing. No, no, they don't. It's this period of time we're meant to be paying attention to adventures, to taking risks, to seeing how that can show up. Yes, in daily experiences. These adventures, this doesn't have to mean jumping on a plane and going somewhere. It can mean in my day, what are some little adventures I can have? Let me throw one at you that I think is just phenomenal, and when you start doing it is going to be probably kind of awkward and clumsy. But rather than having a destination, rather than knowing where you're going, jump in the car and drive. Oh, to the left looks interesting, I'm going to go there. Oh, to the right looks interesting, I'm going to go there. Allow what shows up as you proceed to guide where you're going to go that particular day. And you might come back and say, well, Bonnie, all I did was go in circles. Cool, cool. Maybe there was something in those circles you were meant to see or you were meant to notice. Oh, I didn't know that was there. I didn't know they moved there. I didn't know that was still open. I didn't know that had opened. All kinds of things that you otherwise miss because that's not the side of town you go to, or not the city I go to, or whatever it is, okay? Now this is interesting. I'm seeing a runtime error on my computer. I think she's been giving me signals that she's getting tired. It might be time to replace her. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. There's a change that I tend to avoid, getting a new computer, because I always feel like, oh, it's such a learning curve and getting stuff transferred from one to another, and where did my program for that go, and blah, blah, blah. But if indeed that's what needs to happen, I will embrace the change. All right. Go beyond self-imposed limitations. Look at the world around you in new and different ways. Something exciting is just around the corner. The looking at the world in new and different ways, it can be as simple as close one eye, now close the other eye, and go back and forth. Remember we did that with when we were kids? And the image would jump back and forth because one of our eyes is more dominant than the other. Do that. Play around with that. If I look at that tree with my left eye, what do I see? If I look at it with my right eye, what do I see? Oh, I like it jumping back and forth. Play. Play. Have some fun with this. Your soul wants you to know adventure entails risks. However, I'm going to say that we vastly overestimate the risks that any particular action is going to hold. Most of us do. There might be one or two people, some ADD brains, that underestimate. They leap before they look. But for most of us, we're overestimating the potential risks for any choices that we make. All right? Adventure entails risks, and without them, existence can become stagnant and lackluster. Yes, predictable may seem like a good thing, but it can wear thin. It can get pretty boring after a while. And it can also be an illusion. We stick with the job that we know is safe, and all of a sudden we're downsized. Or we stay in a relationship that's kind of good enough, and our partner leaves us anyway. So look at, what am I not allowing myself to do that really would be good to test, really would be good to try, really would be good to expand into, right? If your life seems uninspired in some areas, be willing to take risks and try something new. Don't wait until an amazing opportunity presents itself. So here's a combination. That's the divine masculine approach. Go out and find an opportunity. But the divine feminine approach may be looking around. What's awaiting me? What's already here that I have not been taking advantage of, right? Start with small adventures, and they will create momentum for bigger and bolder ones. Try changing your hair color or style, or drive a different way to work. Call somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Do something with the opposite hand. Little bitty adventures, okay? If you're shy, this one's a little bigger. Walk up to a stranger and start talking. It could be just smiling at people. When you're going about your daily business, smiling at people, making conscious effort to make eye contact, all right? If you take enough small risks, soon your life will become a great and grand adventure. And again, the affirmation is, wonderful new experiences fill my life. Even if you were to tell yourself that every time before you stepped out your door, how different would things be? Okay, so here are the 3 questions that Denise Lynn poses for a 1-card spread. Draw 1 card to address a single concern or problem. Well, in this case, it's not a problem. I'm going to call it an opportunity, okay? We have adventure. It's our opportunity. Here's some questions you might consider asking yourself. Number 1, what quality does my soul want me to nurture to bring about a positive outcome for this situation? What quality does my soul want me to nurture? Maybe it's your own adventurousness. Maybe it's bravery. Maybe it's expansive thinking. Maybe it's community. What quality does my soul want me to nurture to bring about a positive outcome for this situation? Thank you, Cindy. I knew you'd rise to the occasion. Second one is, if there were a course of action that my soul wanted me to take with regard to this challenge, what would it be? Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Linda. Welcome, welcome. We have adventure today. If there were a course of action that my soul wanted me to take regarding this challenge, what would it be? So, if you ask your soul, take a moment, just quiet yourself. Go within to that still inner place. Breathe into it. Check in with that wise soul self, wherever you experience that. Mine's in my heart. Yours might be in your solar plexus, your throat, wherever it is. Just check in with that wise part of you. What would that part of you want you to do as a course of action? Thank you, Cindy. With regard to this card, adventure. Maybe the picture stirs something in you. Yes. One of the things I thought the other day, I went to a drumming circle with my friend Kathy, and on my drive home, I realized it's rare that I'm driving home in the dark. I'm not out after dark. So that was an adventure. It was an opportunity. Plus the drumming was an opportunity also, because I haven't done that in ages. So there's the second question. If there were a course of action that my soul wanted me to take regarding this challenge, what would it be? Third one is, what quality will be my greatest ally in resolving this concern? So if you decide, yeah, I haven't been taking adventures lately, what quality in me is my greatest ally in resolving that? Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe again it's bravery. Maybe it's companionship. Maybe you call somebody to go have an adventure with you. Good morning, Peggy. Maybe it's uniqueness. I want to do something different. I don't want to do the same old, same old. So here's my version of something we always used to do as kids. We'd take the globe and we'd spin the globe and we'd poke our finger at it, and wherever it stopped, that was where we were going to go, okay? And sometimes it was places we knew of, and sometimes it was places we did not. Ooh, a drumming circle at night by the lake. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Yes, that would be awesome. Depending on the night, maybe I can make it. So, and that was something I thought about too. The person who put on this particular drumming circle, and this was an unusual drumming circle because it was the full moon, and she does different drumming circles, etc. But she uses music. The ones I'm more familiar with are Anishinaabe drumming circles, and so it's their native songs. And so those are the ones I'm familiar with. It'd be great to go to some other tribal kinds of things and experience different tribes' songs. The Oneidas are real close here. Opportunities. There's another thought with that. Song circle. My friend Kayleen loves song circles and participates in quite a few different ones. Maybe a song circle would be a great place for you to be. Lots of options, lots of opportunities. Another place to go, and I ran across this again the other day and go, why don't I do this more often? On Facebook, there are events. Go into the events and look at what's going on in my area. You can set parameters for things that you want and see what's going on. See what things are happening. Go and do some stuff, right? And there's a lot of stuff that's actually free. So that's lovely also. And again, you can go on your own or you can rustle up a friend. One of the things I've been doing now is leaving my lawn chair in the car. So if I'm going somewhere, it goes with me and I know I'm set. So back to our card. Adventure. Oh, and I want to go back and finish my comments for Cindy asking me the question about how yesterday was, because my day was so full and there was so much stuff. What I chose to do, which works very well for me, is I'm only going to focus on what I have to do next. I got all my charts ready, so I was ready for clients, but I'm only going to focus on the next thing. Just the next thing. Not the whole day and freak myself out, just the next thing. So I did the Martin Luther King Jr., just take the next step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take that next step in faith. So I did one step, and then another step, and then another step, and pretty soon it was the end of the day, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, okay, I'm not overly exhausted from all of that. And my last session actually ran a little long because it was a couple, and so we were just getting established, and we had lots to talk about. So it took a little longer. But that felt good. And then, as a lovely reward to myself, I went to look to see if one of my favorite vloggers actually had a new video up, and she did. So that was fun to be able to watch her video. If any of you are interested, if you're thrifters, if you're pickers, Laura Caldwell. It's Caldwell, Laura Caldwell. And she had just put up a new one. She had hosted a flea market in the Portland Expo Center. Big hairy deal, right? Her part was outside, and then there was another person who, it was like 350 vendors total. Would have loved to have gone. That would have been so awesome. And she says there's going to be a 2024 West Coast Flea, and so maybe I'll go to that one. That'd be kind of cool. Get to see her, get to check things out, get to meet some of the people that she puts on her videos. So that would be very fun. Plus, in the course of watching it, there were two other people she mentioned, and I thought they sound like people I'd like to follow also. So there was one other woman that I watched one of her videos, which was kind of cool. So adventures. They can be out and about adventures. They can be online adventures. My thing would be engage with life. Be fully present. Show up. I had a session with someone yesterday where I was having a conversation with her about how she's not showing up for herself. She tends to be quite late onto her calls, and she tends to have a zillion irons in the fire, and oftentimes she's driving during her calls. And so I busted her on it. You're not showing up for you. You're making it difficult for you to really be present for yourself and really do the work. We can't do the deeper stuff if she's driving, right? So interesting. And she thanked me for calling her out on it. I view that as part of my job. Hold up the mirror for you so you can see what you're doing. Oftentimes we do that stuff without even thinking about it. Remember the one where the little girl I was babysitting, my sister and I were walking with her down the sidewalk, and she looked up at us and she said, "Aren't we going to cross the street?" And I looked at her and she goes, "There's a man coming." She had already picked up that my sister and I would veer across the street if there was someone coming toward us. We weren't aware of it. We didn't realize we were doing that. She picked it up. So, out of the mouths of babes, right? So, adventure. What will you set up for your adventure today? What will you do that's different? What will you allow? Again, if you can do something that's more unstructured, rock on. I'm going to go for a drive. I'm going to go out, and when I get to the end of the driveway, I will decide which direction I'm going. When I get to the corner, I will decide which direction I'm going. I'm not going anywhere in particular. I'm driving. Where was I the other day? Oh, it was on the way going to the drumming circle. I realized I haven't been to that area, very close to town, in years, and was pleased to see all the farmland that was still there, and was kind of irritated to see some of the urban sprawl that was happening in those areas. So I'm hoping there are some farmers who can actually hold out. And one of my things would be, when I win the lottery, I want to buy a chunk of woods. And I'm going to plop a chair right in the middle of the woods, and I'm just going to go sit and be. I used to love the woods down by my grandparents' farm. You'd go down the lane, through all the fields, and at the end there was this beautiful hardwood forest. Trilliums in the spring, all kinds of cool stuff. And we used to love to go hang out there. So when I'm rich, I'm buying a woods. I'll invite y'all to come and hang out in my woods with me. How's that? So today, have an adventure. Have an adventure on me. It'll be good. Have fun. Go someplace, do something different, even if it's just taking a different road. Even if it's wandering your backyard and paying attention to what you're actually seeing. Even if it's going around your block the other direction from what you typically go. If you always go out and go left, go out and go right. See what happens. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.